สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning. How are you? I hope you are very well, right? And I hope you have a good rest during the weekend. Although I know that some of you work during the weekend as well, but that's part of life, isn't it? Okay. So um, today we're going to talk about the geography and climate of Southeast Asia. And well, we're going to have a look at this. Let me lead you to one of our materials. So you need geography and climate study guide, this one, and I think Miss Anderson have already prepared it for you. And look at this slideshow, right? I hope you can see it. I hope everyone can see it now very clearly. All right. Okay, we're going to have a look at geography and climate of Southeast Asia and look at how these two affects each countries. Okay, look at the next slide. Here's what we're going to do. Well, in this class, I really want to see you in person, but as we cannot see each other because it's the starts late day, so I'm going to have to do this. Well, you guys are going to look at the map of Southeast Asia, the general map first, right? The big map of Southeast Asia, and try to pick out as many geographical features and information as you can, right? Focus on country that you select for colonial history research and take some notes in your study guide. And you might want to share your answer with the class as well. And then fill in some important features in your study guide and maybe using the color pencils for different features. Okay. Now, look at the first map, topography map. Look at this map and look at the country, your country, and see what kind of physical feature have you got. Maybe you should take some notes in your study guide. And don't worry if you can't see the detail, right? Because I have the larger map for you later on. So take a few minutes to do that. If you can't see the map, this is Myanmar. This part is Myanmar. And here's Thailand, Cambodia, Laos over here, and this is Vietnam along this coastline, Vietnam. Malaysia is here, and these are Indonesia, except for this part is also Malaysia. The Philippines. It's a bit hard to look at East Timor, but I think you can see it a little bit. Not very clearly. Okay, I hope you've done that. And let's look at the next map. What do we have? It's the land use map. Okay. What is in the land use map? What do you see? Look at the map key here. The yellow represents arable land. Which part of the country? Which part of your country has arable land and some other features? Okay, now I'm going to go on to the next map, which is agriculture map. Okay, agriculture map, which part of Southeast Asia has catch grains like corn, millet, and rice? Which part has a lot of livestock grazing? Which part has a lot of tropical forest? Well, try to take some notes. For example, if your country is Myanmar, try to take some notes like peanut, millet, rice, cotton, teak. Here, you got rice down there as well, and tobacco. What about Vietnam? What have you got in Vietnam? A lot of rice here, right? Rubber over here, down here. In Malaysia, this part of mainland Malaysia, you got a lot of rubber, oil palm. There's rubber in this part of Malaysia as well. And why there's a lot of rubber here? Right. And also over here on the Sumatra Island. Of course, there's some rice cultivation on the Borneo Island in part of Indonesia. So, and here you go, there's some spices over here. Rubber, spices, a lot of spices. Molucca Islands group here. Oh, look at this Java Island. What have you got? Okay, I'm going to go on to the next slide. Now, well, what really affects the Southeast Asian region is the monsoon season, right? Well, you have seen a lot of rubber plantation in the southern part of the island part of the Southeast Asia. But look at what is a monsoon. Have you ever heard of the monsoon before? Probably yes, right? I guess it's a yes. So what is a monsoon? Monsoon is the seasonal shift in the prevailing wind direction, right? That usually brings with it a different kind of weather. It almost always refers to the Asian monsoon because it happens a lot in Asian, especially in Southeast Asian. You know, well, Asia, what I mean is it covers from India to Southeast Asia. There are two types of monsoon, right, that prevail Southeast Asia. The first one is the winter monsoon, which comes from the northeast, right? We called it northeast monsoon here. And the summer monsoon or the southwest monsoon. So from November till March every year, the northeast monsoon prevails, bringing cold and dry weather towards the Indochina Peninsula. Look at this one. It's the red arrows, right? So comes from the northeast through to the mainland Southeast Asia, right? So what happens here? The northeast monsoon brings with it the cold weather into Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and some parts of Vietnam. Wherever, when the northeast monsoon prevails through the sea, right, through the South China Sea, it will bring a lot of rain, right? So this part of Malaysia, right, and Borneo Island and Sumatra Island, it brings with it a lot of rains. And that is why this area has a lot of rubber plantation and land is suitable for oil palm as well, because these two crops wants a lot of rain. They like rains, all right? That's why we have a lot of rubber and oil palm. Okay. What about the southwest monsoon? The southwest monsoons occur from May to September, and now it's October. It's like still September, October. You know, we still have rain because of the southwest monsoon wind. It brings with it a lot of rains as well because it actually blows from the southwest area through the Indian Ocean, all right? So it brings rain into our country and Bangkok. Well, Thailand is here. Suphanburi is actually over there where my arrow is pointing. This is Suphanburi, and we receive a lot of rains because of these monsoon winds at the moment. And I have already show you I have shown you some of the pictures when Suphanburi is flooded, just for a couple of hours, but that's because the heavy rain, the southwest monsoon. Okay, what happened here on the mainland Southeast Asia? There's going to be a lot of tropical rainforest around here, this part, Myanmar, and especially the south of Thailand, and over here, this part as well on the Sumatra Island, and this part as well on the Borneo Island. There's a lot of tropical rainforest, a large area of tropical rainforest. And the insular region or the island region, you receive evergreen rainforest. Okay. Now, look at the next map. Here's the population density map. Look at the map key here. Per square mile, there are over 260 people on the red part. Well, look at each country here. Look at Vietnam. In Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam, you see there are a lot of people gathered here. Also in Bangkok, also in Ho Chi Minh City, which is the second, which is one of the biggest city in Vietnam as well, right? And this part, the Gulf of Thailand, Rangoon, one of the biggest city. What else? Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia. Okay. What about this part? Jakarta. Or the Java Island. This is the whole Java Island. A lot of people live there. So many people. What about Manila? Lots of people live here as well. I'm gonna go on to the next slide. Okay. Well, look at Myanmar. Have a look at the bigger map. Here, as you can see, that's topography map of Myanmar. I would like some of you who did presentation on Myanmar to tell me what kind of physical features have you got. What do you think it is on the north? What's it like? Since I can't hear you anyway, Ms. Anderson can stop that and have the students try to tell us, okay? But I'm gonna keep going, I think. Okay, look at this one. Myanmar itself is divided into two sections, Lower Myanmar and the Upper Myanmar. The Lower Myanmar comprised of coastal area with thick tropical forests that have valuable trees, such as teak. All right, it's teak forest, oil-bearing and timber trees. The Irrawaddy River, this is how you spell it. Irrawaddy River is the major river of this country as it provides fertile sediment to the area, making the river delta suitable for rice cultivation. Almost half of Myanmar is covered in forests that are comprised of valuable hardwoods, right? About 50% hardwood. And Myanmar has been influenced by the southeastern monsoon wind that blows from here, from the southeast, receiving heavy rainfall during June to September. I'm gonna go on to the next slide. But if you haven't finished writing, you can stop. Now look at Thailand's map. Now please try to pick out, everybody please try to pick out some of the physical features of Thailand, right? And probably one of you can tell us about Thailand because there's no one doing the presentation on Thailand yet. Let's try. Okay, now let's have a look what's happening in Thailand. What's in Thailand here. The most important features of Thailand's terrain are high mountains in the north, lots of mountains, right? A central plain and a northeast plateau, this area. Mountains cover much of the northern Thailand, look at this map, and extend along the Myanmar border down through the south of Thailand as well. And there's a lot of mountain in the south here as well. The central plain is a lowland area drained by Chao Phraya River. This is the Chao Phraya River, the main river of Thailand, flowing down and drain down to the Gulf of Thailand down here. The Chao Phraya River system drains about 1/3 of the nation's territory, making this area suitable for growing rice. And where is Suphanburi? This is Suphanburi area, and there's some tiny small river called the Thachin River, and the Thachin River is also part of the tributary of Chao Phraya River, right? So it means that if you are coming to Suphanburi, you will see a lot of rice field, because the main crops that we do here is the rice cultivation, right? There's not many mountains around here, so. But if you're going up to the north, and my house is just right there. My hometown is in Phetchabun, and that's where I live, and there's a high mountains over there. I like mountains. Ding, ding. Okay, now in the northeastern part, oh, hang on, this is the Chao Phraya River, right? And a lot of tributaries that flow from the mountains in the north. Now, here's the Korat Plateau, the northeastern part of the country, right? It's a region of rolling low hills and shallow lakes, and drains into the Mekong River or the Mekong River. The Mekong River runs down here. It's the main rivers of Southeast Asia, right? So this is the Moon Rivers and the Chi Rivers running to combine with the Mekong River. This Korat Plateau area is suitable for raising cattle and cotton plantation. Together, the Chao Phraya and the Mekong River system sustain Thailand's agricultural economy by supporting wet rice cultivation and providing waterways for transports of goods and people. Thailand is influenced by southwest monsoon, come from this area. The southwest monsoon resulting in heavy rains during June to September, and by the northeast monsoon as well that blows from China, making the area cool and dry during November to February. Okay, now look at Cambodia. Now everyone please try to pick out as many physical features as you can for a few seconds. What do you see here? And probably one of you can tell us. Okay, I'm going to go on, and here what we got. Here's what we have got. Okay, Cambodia consists mainly of a large low-lying alluvial plain surrounded by mountains with the Mekong River to the east. Where's the Mekong? Here it comes. That's the Mekong River, right? That runs through here and down to Phnom Penh and out to Vietnam down there. Okay, this plain is centered around Tonle Sap, Lake Tonle Sap, which is this one. Okay, the Tonle Sap Lake is the natural storage basin of the Mekong River. Although Cambodia has a coastline on the Gulf of Thailand, this is the Gulf of Thailand, that is Thailand, right? Here's the Gulf of Thailand. It has coastline down here, but it is very short, and the coast is separated from the central flood plain by mountains. Huge mountain is blocking the plain areas in the central Cambodia and the coast, right? Cambodia's most important river is the Mekong River, and it's the longest river in Southeast Asia and the 10th largest in the world. Okay, here's the Mekong River. We're going to talk about the Mekong River and of course the whole Cambodian country in probably in October, late October. That's the Tonle Sap Lake. Like Thailand, Cambodia is influenced by the southwest monsoon that comes from here, resulting in heavy rain during June to September, and then by the northeast monsoon that comes from China, making this area cool and dry during November and February. Okay. Now, look at Vietnam map. Vietnam. Now I would like everyone to try to pick out some of the physical features, and maybe one of you can tell us, or let's help each other do this. You can stop the video and then I will just keep going on the lecture, right? Vietnam is a country of tropical lowlands, hills and densely forested highlands. The country is divided into the highlands and the Red River Delta in the north. This is the northern part, the Red River Delta. That's the highlands over here, as you can see from the map. The central mountains down here, the coastal plain, and the Mekong River Delta in the south. The Red River Delta is a flat region. This delta is smaller but more intensely developed and more densely populated than the Mekong River Delta down here, right? Well, that one of the reason is because the alluvial deposit of the river, of the Red River here, over 1,000 years make a delta suitable for farming, making it a rich rice growing area of Vietnam. A lot of rice cultivation down here. Now, look down here at the south, in the south of Vietnam. The Mekong River Delta or Mekong Delta is a low-level plain and crisscrossed by a maze of canals and rivers. The amount of sediment deposited annually here is nearly 13 times more than the amount deposited by the Red River up there. Right? About 10,000 square kilometers of the delta are under rice cultivation, making the area one of the major rice growing regions of the world. So in Vietnam, there are two parts, the northern part on the Red River Delta and the southern part, the Mekong River Delta, that are really, really important for rice cultivation. Okay, now have a look at Laos. Have a look at the Laos map. Look at this country. It's the only landlocked country in Southeast Asia, which means there's no way out to sea or ocean, right? So look at this. What do you see here? And one of you can tell us. Okay, I'm going to talk now. Now, look at this one. Topography of Laos is largely mountainous, as you can see, with elevations above 500 meters, typically characterized by steep terrain, narrow river valleys, and not suitable for agriculture at all. Not suitable. However, there's some large areas in the southern part which is well suited for extensive paddy rice cultivation and livestock farming. Here. Only about 4% of the total land area is classified as arable. Only 4%, right? The forested land area has declined significantly since the 1970s as a result of the commercial logging and expanded slash and burn farming. Like other nations in the mainland Southeast Asia, Laos has a tropical monsoon climate with a rainy season from May through October, the rainy season, and then a cool dry season from November through February, because that's the northeast monsoon flowing from China down here, and a hot dry season in March and April. Okay. I really want to go to Laos. I think I'm planning maybe this October when I have a break. I might go there because look at the terrain here. There's a lot of mountains, and it's so beautiful up there. People say that. I have never been there, but I wanted to. If you have finished, just moving to the next slide. This is Singapore. Singapore. Have a look at Singapore map. All right. This is not a very good map, but that's all I can find because Singapore is such a tiny country. Look at some information. Well, Singapore is an island of 646 square kilometers, just about the size of Chicago. Most of Singapore is no more than 15 meters above sea level. The average elevation. Yeah. The highest point in Singapore is the Bukit Timah, with the height of only 165 meters, and I've been there. I walked up to the mountain because in Seng Wan Ying School, every year we take students from grade 7 to go and have a summer camp in Singapore every year, and where we stay, the place where we stay is very near the highest point in Singapore. It's right here in the middle. And I usually take the students and walk up the mountains, and it was fun. I mean, for me, it was so fun. But for them, they got so tired and, complain about walking up. Why shouldn't we stay at home? Why do we have to walk up? Thai students is very lazy sometimes. Okay. Now, it is the Singapore is located at one of the crisscross of the world. It's like the hub of the world. It has a very good location, as you know, and the location helped the Singapore grows in, from the small, tiny town, and it grows into a major center for trade, communications, and tourism. Singapore has a more or less tropical rainforest climate. There are many fluctuations in the overall temperatures And because it is very close to the equator, therefore it tends to have hot and humid climate. The average temperature is about 32 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Fahrenheit all year round. All year round. And it rains a lot. When you live in Singapore, what do you need? You need an umbrella or a cap or a hat or raincoat. Because if it doesn't rain in the morning, it will rain in the afternoon. Now look at this picture. This is how people live in Singapore. This is where they stay. Most of the people stay in an apartment block, right? And Singapore is often perceived as a concrete jungle with close to about 90% of the population living in flats and high buildings. And they often paint their buildings like that, like, you know, colorful, beautiful colors right there. And I think I'm going to stop the presentation, just, you know, Singapore, and then we can continue tomorrow. All right, I think it's about time. And I will see you next class. Bye. สวัสดีค่ะ